This is how I was able to upscale my retainer price from $2,500 a month to $5,000 a month for both new and existing clients. My name is Diego, I'm a digital marketer, and these are the tips and tricks that I use that help me scale my retainer price to $45,000 a month. So the leap from $2,500 to $5,000 a month can seem like a lot, especially if this is your first time doing it and you've never done so before. But once I give you guys these tips, it should kind of put things in perspective and make things a lot easier for you, as well as kind of make you decide whether or not a price hike is even justifiable in your case. So the main things that I want you to consider is this, okay? What problem or service do I solve for people? How effective am I at solving that problem for people? And how big of a problem am I solving for people? So for me, when I started my business, I started as a content creator for real estate agents and loan officers. So the problem there being that there's so many different realtors and there's so many different loan officers out there that you really have to be creative with your marketing strategy in order to stand out. And most realtors and LOs don't even have enough time to make the high quality content. They don't want to go out and buy the equipment. They don't have the time to sit down and edit the videos, schedule the videos, write out the scripts, post the videos, so on and so forth. So for me as a content creator, not only is it my job to be the answer to that problem, but also be the guy who's going to take care of the whole problem from start to finish, A through Z. Because at the end of the day, that's all the clients are looking for. They're looking for somebody to step in, show their expertise, and take care of the whole issue for them. So with the service that I offered a white glove service where I would write out the video scripts, choose the video topics, choose the location, bring all the equipment, edit the videos, create the captions, post the videos, pretty much take care of that whole stress for my clients. So right there, I'm already identifying the problem, which is that realtors and LOs have to market themselves in order to bring in new business. And I'm also identifying how big of a problem I'm solving. So in this case, if they're not bringing in new business, then they're not bringing in new money. And if they're not bringing in new money, well, then everything's going down the toilet, right? And lastly, I'm identifying how effective I am at solving that problem for them. So in this case, I would offer the white glove service, like I mentioned, where I took care of the whole process from A through Z. So I would say with the service that I was offering, it was pretty effective, right? It was pretty stress-free for my realtors and my LOs, and all they had to do was just show up and I hit record and take care of the rest. Now you're gonna wanna consider your reputation and your professionalism as a brand and a business. Remember, once you start asking for that 5K price point, your client now has a bunch of different options at that same price point. So they're probably gonna be shopping around, and if your brand and professionalism isn't on point and your competitors is, well then you'll probably just lose that client entirely, because they'll feel like, hey, well look, I'm gonna be in better hands with this guy. He has the 5-star Google reviews, he has his social media on point, he has a bunch of client testimonials. So before you start going out and asking for 5K retainers and boosting your price, you need to ask yourself, hey, is my social media on point? Do I have client testimonials? Do I have case studies to back up my testimonials? Does my website work? You'd be surprised how many entrepreneurs are out there that don't have a functioning website, or their website is just not good. So having all of this ready to go not only is going to further position yourself as the authority figure within your own industry, but it's also going to give your client peace of mind knowing that they're dealing with a professional who has worked with others, who has created similar results, who has high reviews, case studies to back up their work, and so on and so forth. Now, the third thing that I want you to consider is going to be your client experience, and this is going to be super important for those of you who are looking to increase prices on your current clientele. So for the most part, people won't give you a hard time when you raise your prices if they feel like there's good value behind it. It's called value proposition. So in other words, how is your client's experience going to get better as a result to your price hike? For most of your clients, as long as you can justify that price hike, you should be good. Granted, not everyone will be able to agree with that price hike, or they won't be able to afford it. But one thing that they won't be able to say is that they feel like they're paying more for the exact same service that you offered at a cheaper rate. So what does that mean, right? This means you're probably going to have to up your client experience. And that could be anything from offering a money-back guaranteed, one-on-one training sessions, bringing on a customer service rep to handle issues and concerns, maybe even just having faster turnaround time overall. So whatever you think will make the client experience better within your own business is probably going to be what you want to go with. And my last tip for you guys, and this is probably the most important, is going to be don't work with cheap clients. So if you're already dealing with a client who's nagging you over $2,500, maybe they're trying to get more services out of you than what was originally agreed upon, or maybe they're just always late to pay you. I've gotten hit with this one a lot. Oh, I forgot to send the retainer. My advice to you is don't waste your time with those people. You can offer, the option for your current clients to pay the upcharge, but if they're giving you a hard time about it, I would just kind of like leave it in the past, guys. Because at the end of the day, your prices are only going to increase the more you scale your business and the more you get better at solving whatever problem it is that you solve. So I don't know, maybe you can offer like a financing option, a payment plan, or something like that. But ideally, if you know your value and you know your worth, then I wouldn't recommend lowering your prices just because somebody's asking and they can't afford it. So those are my tips to you guys. I hope this video brought some value to any of you guys who are maybe in that situation of trying to scale their retainer price from $2,500 to $5,000, or even that jump from $5,000 to $10,000 a month. If you're new here, go ahead, give me a follow. I'd greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.